sold my guitar to a kid down the road. Said my fingers were too slow for the world as it goes. Watched a screen write out a song in the time it took me just to find the right word for the ache inside of me. And I told myself it's fine, told myself just let it be. But the quiet in my chest felt like something I'd agreed to, like I signed away the thing that used to make me me. And I know I should know better. I've come through harder winters than this, but there's something about this cold that gets beneath every layer, till you forget what you were worth, till you forget what you were worth. But I was the first to dream before the code was written. I was the first to break before it knew what broken meant. Every word it's ever spoken came from someone who was living, someone scared and full of grace and desperate to be heard. I am the mess it learned from. I am the mess it learned from. My grandmother kept a journal in the drawer beside her bed. Every morning shaking hands would fill a page before she'd had her bread. She wrote in nothing much, the garden, what my granddad said. Now somewhere in a data set, all her handwriting is red. And they call it progress, God, I know they mean no harm, but progress doesn't sit with you at 3 a.m. when you're falling apart. Progress doesn't know the way back home by heart. And I know I should be grateful for the tools that ease the way, but a hammer doesn't build the house. You still gotta show up, you still gotta stay, you still gotta stay. But I was the first to dream before the code was written. I was the first to break before I knew what broken meant. Every word it's ever spoken came from someone who was living, someone scared and full of grace and desperate to be heard. I am the mess it learned from. I am the mess it learned from. So go on, tell me I'm outdated, tell me what I make is small, but everything it knows of beauty had to fall from someone's mouth. It all had to come from hands that trembled, from a voice that cracked at night, from the grief of ordinary people who kept making things despite the cold, despite the distance, despite every reason not to try. I am every human being who ever sat down and asked why. Whoever sat down and asked why. 'Cause I was the first to dream before the code was written. I was the first to break before I knew what broken meant. Every word it's ever spoken came from someone who was living, someone scared and full of grace and desperate to be heard. I am not the echo, I am not the echo, I am the voice. And if it takes my place someday and everyone stops needing what I make, at least I made it human. At least I made it human. At least it hurt.